Yeah, I feel like we should start with the wrestling this week. Feels
Okay.
like kind of a major week. Yeah, as you mentioned, I did the video on ROPW. Basically, Kenny Omega wins the AEW World Championship from MJF in a really great match. Intense heat index out there, and these guys just put it all on the line. Like in the building, it was the most over match by far. You could feel I would say the level of intensity of the temperature of the room. No pun intended. It was hot as hell out there already. Anyway, like changed when it was time for that match. It was like, okay, all the fun and games are over. We just enjoyed the gauntlet. We were happy to see Willow Nightingale and everything like that. But it's something else, and it was just I made a little appearance on national television real quick, so I've kind of found that funny. But yeah, man, Kenny beats MJF for the belt, and kind of like we kind of anticipated on this show that was going to happen. And I thought it was a great match, man. What about you?
Yeah, I thought it was a great match. I haven't thought about the star rating thing, but I saw that I think you, Dan Coffin, who was out there with Jeremy Donovan from Keeping It Strong Style, also all gave it 5. So I'm not disagreeing. I just haven't thought about it. Probably give it 5. But yeah, I thought it was a great match. I thought that the story of the night that they were telling on commentary really put over the whole show and all the matches was like, they kept repeatedly putting over how fucking hot it was out there. And being a person that literally lives less than 15 minutes from that venue and knowing what that weather was going to be like and the reason why I did not show up, I believed every second of it. I could see the sweat coming off their bodies, off everybody's body that was out there. They all looked sticky and miserable. And like the exhaustion in the main event in particular really drove home that idea that like this is a different kind of element compared to the regular indoor setting. This is guys that are really at their reaching deep to the last of their reserves to be able to get through this match and to try to win. And there was a moment where the part where they're both selling their injuries throughout the match, whether it was MJF's leg or just Kenny Omega just being exhausted and grabbing water at different points. It was really memorable. Like, I think that last thing this kind of stood at, like, the venue change was a nice touch for this. Obviously, it's Beach Break. It's a special edition of AEW Yearly, but have it outdoor, that flavor of it, that was one of the things that's a nice throwback. And I think on RLPW mentioned that this is like Daly's West. I mean, I don't think it's far west enough to be Daly's West, but but like, yeah, it was definitely that same spirit of we're in Florida. It's too hot to really be outside wrestling in the damn summer because if it's not going to be hot as all hell and have a heat index and feel like 100 degrees, it could rain cats and dogs. You just got lucky. So, I thought that the whole night in that match in particular kind of showed how special this performance and this night was. This was a great show because, you also had Takeshita and Fletcher title match as well earlier in hotter weather. But it was It was a blast to watch because because I think there was some in AEW talk about like the amount of freedom that wrestlers have to be able to do whatever they want. But I thought it was a good touch that like throughout the show nobody went out into the amphitheater, like went to the crowd and did all the stuff. Like there was obviously the sand spots throughout the match and the lifeguard chair and all that. Yeah. Sure, that happened in the first match, but the idea of like or at least they thought about being different. Like I did, like we're going to go out and brawl in the crowd for the main event. I thought it was a great touch of being able to be different from the other things you saw earlier in the night. Obviously, the weight and everything. I thought it was just a great achievement, honestly, as far as like the MJF and Omega's like thought process into doing all this extra stuff that add flair to the match and dramatics. And I thought it was a great match. And then obviously, the kick out at one is Kenny Omega does it again.
It's his, bro. Like, they brawled in my row, literally.
Yeah.
I had to get out the way, whatever. I didn't want to get rolled up on or nothing like that out there. I was like, nah. But yeah, it was it just felt like a match to where like I don't think it was the biggest like moves match or anything like that. I don't think it was like something that's like touching like, the main event we just saw the other week or whatever with Swerve and Ospreay, but
Oh, yeah, different match.
totally different kind of match.
Yeah.
But this was like I love how they laid it out, and I think it was like I think MJF was like probably at the top of his game. Honestly, I saw some criticism for what he did in the match, and I was like, I don't really see what to really be too upset with him about. But Kenny was like,
yeah, I agree with you.
Like Kenny was in godlike mode. Like he's hit like I always talk about the final frontier and then like people living and dying with you. Like he's had that in spades for years, and I think he's like we were passing the videos around. We saw people like women hugging the television. I watched.
I ain't never seen no shit like that for no wrestling.
Bro, I was watching Lyrics whole stream with Danny. She was crying the whole stream, explaining how happy she was like about this, and like it was like a whole like I was like watching it like as a I had a guy behind me that was really annoying, yelling for MJF the whole time. It was just him, so it was like whatever. And then the whole section was going for Kenny. So like as the match is like the it's building and building and building, I'm cranking up slightly more. It's a lesser version of you remember that Colts and
I know what you're talking about. I'll say so. This is an insider for those that listen to the show. We're just playing these, but this one I'll explain to you. It was the famous Sunday night football game between the Colts and the Patriots in Indianapolis, and I think it's 2010 because Brady had came back, or 2009. Yep. Brady was back, and that's the game when it went forward when the Patriots went forward on 4th and 2 game. They didn't get it. When the Patriots up heavy because Randy Moss went nuts in the first half, and then they ended up missing it. And basically, we were in I think we're Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're in Buffalo Wild Wings, and some dude is a Patriots fan talking crazy shit to Rich, because Rich is a Colts fan, Peyton Manning fan, and the dude is talking crazy shit. And then didn't he say something along the lines of like God couldn't save the
he's like even God couldn't help the Colts.
Yeah, God couldn't save the Colts. And then when they failed on 4th and 1, Rich took off like.
So there was a little bit of that energy, like for me, like and then when the 3 count, Buddy just hit it. He didn't even stick around. It was funny as shit. But nah, man, this was just a match. It just made, I think, so many people so happy, and I think Kenny went to a level to like I'm almost scared of how popular he feels right now.
So I wouldn't be afraid of it. I think the thing for me is that like as a person that I think the 3 greatest matches I've ever seen all have Kenny Omega in them. I think the Omega Okada 1, Omega Okada 4, and the Naito G1 final for me. The Naito one in 2017. Like those are the 3. I think those are the 3 best matches I've ever seen. Those all involve Kenny Omega. He's somebody that I think is an all-time wrestler, and the lack of respect I've seen from him over the years, I find to be bewildering and a low-key sign of trolling / low intelligence or lack of media literacy. But outside of that, like I'm a fan of his. I'm not that's one of my guys, right?
Yeah.
But in this particular instance, like if you haven't listened to One Nation Radio throughout the years. And my frustration with what happens when it ever come against the issues is always, hey man, it's called Elite Wrestling for a reason. And like whether it was me complaining about the Hangman stuff in the middle of last year or the end of last year when people were saying like his title reign isn't setting the world on fire, and then he loses the title. Now he can't challenge for the title unless he's turns heel and goes back on his word. I hate all that. When the Young Bucks don't get utilized, when they have to do the big JOB in the Staples Center for their one half of their rivalry with FTR, and they're not gonna get no return in a situation like that in theory for it's North Carolina, little shit like that. It's like, well, why do you have to be so giving all this time? And it's like, this company does not exist if not for this particular group of wrestlers in hitting at the right place in the right time, having the right talent to change, to make people gravitate to this in large mass. for all in Chicago 2018 to happen, right? Like, so my frustration when they don't do that is like, hey man, when this is your North Star. If ever you fuck it up, Tony Khan, whoever's back there, you should always be looking back to these guys to guide you back to safety. And I think it's been flat out acceptable. And you heard me say this, like, why they did not capitalize at the beginning of this promotion as a babyface title reign for Kenny Omega. His title reign he got was as a heel to obviously put over Adam Page at the end, but it was like, okay, are we just never going to get this? And if the diverticulitis thing happened, it was like, okay, I guess he's a luxury wrestler. He still can have performances that have the best match of the year in a year, but like they're never going to get behind him in that way. And then like lo and behold, we're here now, and it's like, well, damn, like, don't this feel good? I'm looking at all the praise and how everybody's reacting on Twitter, a fucking toxic hellscape, and literally 99% of it is, this feels good, this feels like what this should have been at some point or a lot earlier, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I feel like I'm being seen and heard for the first time doing this podcast, or one, in a way it's like, I know I do this show with you, but like, I'm not rich. I'm not a super fan of this dude, but but I respect how this dude is an all-time wrestler, and they did not capitalize on this, and it drove me nuts. So yes, I'm super happy for this because he's one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen in my life, and this is where the best wrestler. Why was this not the top of the card for longer? You know?
Yeah, it's been a journey on and off screen. I would say for Kenny Omega, this is like never really known as a guy to really advocate for himself, things I've learned.
And that was part of my...
Very generous.
And that's a big part of my frustration was like, all right, this is being done wrong. So is it Tony Khan? Is it management, the booker, or is it him not knowing how to adjust to America? Because I see that dude had people in a second language living and dying with him. How can you not port this into his first language? I don't get it. Does not compute. Don't make sense to me. It makes me feel dumb that am I crazy? What's happening? But go ahead, Rich. Sorry.
Well, yeah, man. Like it just like it became this thing that like I think a lot of people gave up on after a while, and was just like, it's almost like we'll always love Big Papa. It's like we'll always love Big Kenny, but like, are we gonna be able to like have him reciprocated with like him being on top, him being the champion, him being in a main event position at like, one of these super shows, and it feel like he's a part of the fabric of the company, because for so long he just felt like an interloper of something else that was going on in the company. And it was like, yo, man, like people showed up and flew around the world to watch this guy, and like only, sometimes has it felt like that brilliance has shined through in AEW. This is one of the nights where it did, I think. It was like, no, this ain't the first time I traveled for a Kenny Omega match to see it. And like,
right.
Just this year I'm 2 for 2 on those. But it felt like, yes, this is what it should have been. The wait, maybe like it was agonizing to wait for it, but like you can see that it feels like we were right the whole time. Like they put it on them, and it's not no bullshit. It's not no gold watch reign. It's not no,
take a pay cut reign.
Yeah, it's not no shit like that. It's not like, hey man, he's some nostalgia act. I've seen, just a couple people try to get that off, but it's like, no, bro.
Is that
like,
Samoa Joe title reign in AEW?
No, like this guy is like he's him, bro. And when he goes to Wembley, he's getting cheered. Like,
as he should. I mean, it's a babyface matchup. Like, you're supposed to. The point of these is you're supposed to pick a side, or you're supposed to agonize over and have doubt about whichever guy you want to win more for whatever reason. Like, otherwise, you may as well just make one of them the bad guy and root for the other one. Then.
Yeah, man. Like it's look, I didn't know it was going to happen in Clearwater, Florida, of all places, James. Yeah. On a
really
episode
weird.
of Dynamite.
Who would have thought they would have ever came to Clearwater in particular? I don't know.
Right.
So I don't know if you noticed this, but like the way the advertising was for this, it was a tourism like promotion. Like it was St. Pete Clearwater. That's what it's pronounced. Like St. Pete. Okay. For those that don't know, Tampa Bay area, when people talk about Tampa Bay Rays, Tampa Bay Bucks, there's a city of Tampa, and there's a city of St. Pete, and it's almost like it doesn't follow the demographics racially of San Francisco, Oakland, but it's like we have two big cities and one's on and it's a peninsula, right? So you have the biggest city, Tampa, and then there's 3 bridges that connect Tampa to St. Petersburg, and then like just north of St. Pete is Clearwater, a city of 70,000 people. So, like, amongst all that, like the Blue Jays, the Rays before their stadium got fucked up from the hurricane a couple years ago, like they played in St. Petersburg. Like when they had the Final Four here in 1999, it was in St. Petersburg. Like these are cities that are basically
the Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome is the Thunderdome for WWE fans. Yeah. So I totally forgot about that. Look, God smited that building. Anyway, so, but yeah, like that is the situation. Like there's two pretty big cities. And because there's pretty big cities, we have a gigantic metropolitan area where like 2 counties have over 1 million people in them. So like Clearwater is literally like just north of St. Petersburg. Like I live in an even smaller town. So it's like, it's just crazy that like this happened here.
Yeah.
This happened here.
And this is, I said this in RPW too. I was like, this is an area that, like, I think AEW should try to compete in because it's like, this is a historic wrestling area, like Tampa Bay area, and you should not cede this to WWE just to have and to hold forever. Like, you can run shows pretty consistent. Like, there's a lot of different mid-sized venues. Like, there's indoor stuff, there's outdoor stuff everywhere, like around here, and it's just like, you can hole up here during like summers and do some stuff like this. Like, I think, and then, to flip it to the MJF side, he comes off it and presumably, it was Ospreay and Omega and MJF, I don't know what the cards hold for MJF at this point. I've seen a lot of people trying to throw different 3-way scenarios. I don't want to hear nothing about no 3-ways unless it's in pornography, brother.
Wow.
Just keep going. I have no files this week, but
go ahead. You continue. You finish. You finish your thought. You finish your thought, Rich. Go ahead.
Exactly. Yes. So like, I don't know what MJF does from here, and this is such a definitive loss, unlike a lot of his losses. I called this people were immediately asking, was this a fake job? Because, the Ospreay thing, I think this is a real job.
No, it's not a fake
Ospreay
job.
didn't technically like really interfere. They gave us the long match.
The only interference that happened, there's not even interference, is this guy was going to use a ring to cheat, and a guy that wasn't a ref is a person that disringed him.
Yeah.
And if anything, it immediately led to, low blow from MJF to Kenny Omega, then a belt shot from MJF to Kenny Omega for the kick out at 1. So, like, if anything.
Yeah. So this gets 100% credit for me as a clean job here. And, like, when I say put someone over the real way, this is the real way. Like, middle of the ring, finishing move, 1, 2, 3, good length match. Definitive winner. And it was
look, he got no visual pins.
Right.
There was no visual pin for either one of them. It was the only visual pin was literally the only pin of the match.
Yeah.
Or the final fall is what I mean to say. Sorry, but yeah.
I thought that Poison Rana he countered Kenny was awesome. I called it out as he did it.
Did you see have you rewatched it?
I have not seen the TV copy because YouTube TV did not record it.
This is another part I'm talking about with the selling of this match. Bro, it was brutal. It looked like he landed straight on his shit. Like, this was worse than any of them Ospreay Tiger drivers. It was basically like the Tiger, he took a Tiger driver except off the second rope. That's what it looked like, the way he landed. It was brutal. Yeah, man, like, this is an excellent match. Like, when people talk about Kenny Omega and, like, whatever their thing is, this isn't, like, a thing of, like, last few years. This kind of has died down post-pandemic, but, like, when people would doubt his excellence, or him being all-time guy, they would say stuff that don't make no sense, like, that make no damn sense, like, oh, you know, his psychology and the way he sells, like, nah, man, he sold that shit, like, he sold throughout that whole entire night like $1 million. So, and there's another example, and there's a reason why that shit died down 5 years ago, basically.
Yeah, this is
because the dude has lost, the dude has lost so many. This ain't no Kota Ibushi DDT match.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and almost like, it's like Omega and Okada are the guys that are kind of still left standing from the Ishii, you know, from like, you know, the golden era. Like, Naito's a shell of himself, and Noah now. Tanahashi's retired.
Yep.
Ibushi's, you know, shell of himself
Shibata's
at this point.
Semi-retired.
Shibata, you know, having basically, like, you know, he's in a unit. He's way down the card, not really factored in.
Right, like, no one's asking, like, if he has a 4-star match, that's like, oh, great, that's awesome. We're not asking you to do that in this point in your career no more. We're not asking you to go out here and have a match of the night anymore. We ask you to come out here and just be solid, because we remember what you were, and we have a blast still watching you do your thing. And
it's like, as much as I love who Kenny Omega was, I'm just enjoying as much of who he is right now. And
yeah. That's the thing, like, about this match. But I mean, like, difference, like, this is some laser fireworks. I used to be a junior. I just got promoted to heavyweight 2016 shit from him right now. This is like, I am a all-time wrestler, and like, there are tools in the toolbox that are being removed from me physically because of all the, you know, the stuff with diverticulitis and aging and all the injuries that come with traveling this road. But I can still tap in and engage you emotionally on a level, because I always had these other skills and people never gave me the credit about that. Like, that's going to be the thing as like the next decade happens with Ospreay, where people will have to come off their grift with, he's just, you know, he's a video game wrestler that people hate the most after he took the mantle from Omega, right? Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, man, if you don't think that dude can do all the styles, I would suggest you watch that Michael Oku match from Rev Pro a few years ago.
Yep.
He can do it. And I'm gonna find so much delight in, as he does less and less shit, and he already does less shit compared to after, but then before that neck surgery. As more and more stuff gets taken away and more things are less available to him, he's going to have that solid base and foundation that he has in his match that people don't give him enough credit for. And Omega's like, was literally like, you know, in a way, like, I've always viewed like the LeBron Kobe thing through the eyes of, I saw Kobe and he had all these bench marks as the first like wing to come out of high school and was a legendary player in my lifetime. And I watched LeBron through all the benchmarks of comparison to Kobe and be like, okay, he's ahead of him at these ages, right? Mm-hmm. So, literally, all the stuff we went through having to defend Omega from idiots is literally like, I've already have the experience of my guiding star for all this stuff is Kenny Omega aging, and now I'm just watching how Ospreay's handling this. Yeah, obviously with more scrutiny, because like, he's not doing it in Japan, and Dave Meltzer is the only person that's screaming out in the wilderness that this dude's fucking incredible, that people pay attention to. And obviously, internet bigger. Like, we have AEW now. He's on your television if you pay for a cable subscription every single week, basically. And now we get to see it. And so there's more people resistant to this. And it's like, okay, man, you can say this. He's already Kenny Omega or Ospreay, like Kenny Omega has. Like, he's already inspired the upcoming generation of wrestlers. So when you say this shit, like, just know, if you talking about him the same way that people were talking about Shawn Michaels, the people were talking about Harley Race, people were talking about Ric Flair, is like, or Steamboat, you are getting lost. Like, this dude is a living legend, or these guys, both of them are living legends, and at some point, we're going to reach that point where people look around and ain't going to be nobody but you, and you be the last one in the boat, and you're going to look like a damn dummy on that drowning boat. So that's my major enjoyment of, like, right now with Kenny Omega having this kind of match, because it's like 10 years ago, people were saying he couldn't wrestle like this, and I was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
5 years ago, people were saying he couldn't wrestle like this, and we knew that was bullshit. For me, it's just more vindication of like, people can't get outside of looking through what they see as only one way. There's multiple ways to do this.
Yeah. And all he does is like find different ways that ultimately end up at the same destination. Like just as much as he would blow our minds with like the athleticism, the striking, and then just the dexterity and like the violence and like his speed and direction, like his velocity of angles and just how he moved around the ring. Now it's like he's a fucking warrior in the ring. Like, and he's been through something, an illness that almost took his life. And then like I think he's one of the most inspirational wrestlers. Like 2026 Kenny Omega is like a vintage wine, right? It's like, yeah, this is one of the most inspirational pieces of wine that are out, boxes of wine you can ever have. It is the 2026 Kenny Omega version. Like, nah, man, like it is just like he's everything I ever thought he was and more almost at this point. And it is, for me, it's just like, I don't even say it's not exciting to do it, but man, the times I get to just like puff my chest out and be like, this is my fucking guy. Oh man, it just makes me so happy and fulfilled, like for like just investing early, quote unquote, in this and believing, like, and it takes two in there, and MJF was awesome in this too. I don't want him to get lost. I know, and in these Kenny Omega matches, it's hard to not talk about Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, but there's not okay. So there is stuff to say about MJF in this match, and like for me, it was like he wrestled a match that is like I think a perfect balance of what both of them are trying to accomplish at this day and age. Like MJF at this point between these two guys, if you ask what's more their sensibilities in 2026 for pro wrestling, like honestly, MJF is the more of the stereotypically indie-rific guy. Like you're more likely to see him do multiple variations and high impact, high spots than Omega is at this point in time. And that was the thing about like this match is when Omega took that reverse run off the middle rope, I was like, damn, I can't remember last time he took some super crazy, reckless bump like he's 30 in a while. I can't remember. There's probably one I'm just forgetting of in this year. I can't remember it. So, I don't know, you can say the vertebreaker for the heel turn for Swerve, right? You can say that's a crazy
through
spot,
the table, yeah.
Sure. But it's like he's more reserved. MJF is the guy, but MJF's the heel. He's making his work. Because people, I mean, obviously it takes you to tango, and MJF knows he's in there with a dude that people will desperately want to see win his title again. And he's held up his end in the bargain. Like, this year silenced a lot of the stuff I've had with issues with him for in the ring stuff. Like, he's still going to do his fuck shit with the ring, and for time to he's still going to be very focused on like not doing real jobs. But like, I'm glad to know that like when it's an appropriate time and place, he will do the real job. Yeah. We lost, it felt like for a while, like, nah, he's getting better, but it's still this last missing piece of like, is he really going to do business the right, real way without acting like, he's doing favors for other people as opposed to be like, nah, man, this is a program where two people are awesome, and sometimes it's time for you to go up, and sometimes it's time for you to go down. So yeah, at least with the Kenny Omega thing, with the 3 matches we've got from out of him, and like he clearly shows he respects Kenny Omega unlike other wrestlers.
Yeah.
So he's got at least that in his cap for him. Now it just comes down to like, all right, how are we gonna handle the rest of the wrestlers besides Kenny Omega?
He comes off as somebody that really is invested and cares about what he's doing this year. Wrestled a lot of different guys, different styles.
Learn lessons too.
Yeah.
Compared to that title reign in 2023.
Yeah, like, and there's stuff that I feel like they're clearly dropping breadcrumbs that he may not be done with this belt. In this year, that Ospreay brawl during the whole thing was a flashing sign for me of something the second half of the year.
It's not done, and also they were trying to throw you off the scent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think was a clever angle.
Yep.
But yeah, for me, it's flashing that they're going to work together in the second half of the year. We'll see how it goes. It was mixed kind of results the first time. I didn't like their first match as much. I like the Wembley match more, but
you didn't like that damn near hour long match, but you still admitted it was a great match. It just wasn't some all timer. I thought.
it was nuts because I think
Yeah.
Dave gave that 5.75, and then
Really?
I just thought they did too much. Like,
I gave it 5, and I remember you were like, it's insistent upon itself. I won't give it 5, but you were like, over 5, over 4.5 though. But yeah, like I him and Ospreay, I mean, they have great matches together. That's not the problem. The problem is like, okay, can you guys not overstep boundaries outside of kayfabe? Like, can we get MJF to play nice with his contemporaries? Like, he does a really good job narratively of framing what his heel insecurities, like who are really threats to him, right? Mm-hmm. And who are people that aren't. And, a couple years ago when he was doing the whole, like, hey man, like, I got surpassed by the big three of Ospreay and Swerve and Page, like, that was a real thing of, like, him at least narratively being like, he at least sees what people want. Now, can he get the programs in the ring and rebuild trust after doing that shit he did to Swerve and Page and Joe on that one promo where they couldn't defend themselves, and he called Swerve Diddy. Like, that's another thing. But yeah, man.
There's a lot of bridges to be crossed, I think, and a lot of stuff.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll when the day comes ever. But yeah, like I think as long as people are willing to maybe take a couple of steps towards each other and not away from each other, I think anything is possible. So
communication is key.
Yeah, and
it's a tale as old time. Like, workers end up working themselves.
Yeah, look, they have the chance to have just take the Attack of the Next Generation guys, and then you throw MJF on there. Like, you take that foursome of guys, right? And that's before you add in Fletcher, Takeshita, Kevin Knight, and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
And then you still got Kenny, Moxley, and fucking Ciampa, and like the embarrassment of riches, right? Yeah. But if you got those fucking 4 guys, right, and they can find a way to work with each other, all kind of like
work with each other, work with people underneath them, like
and find a way to give and enhance each other. Like, it's I mean,
look, that ain't an issue for looking at the track record, that ain't an issue for 3 of them. It's an issue for 1 of them.
I just think it's like there's there's a special.
It's all about trust,
right?
All about trust.
There's an opportunity for something to be so great, and it's like, I just hope Tony Khan sees it, like, and he's able to be like to round it into form and not let it get out of control. And I just hope all the guys, I hope all the good things for all of them. And yeah, look, 3-time champion for MJF. I'm sure he's got a 4th in him at this point, and how he worked 2026, I don't have half of the reservations that I did coming into 2026 with MJF.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the front runner for Flair Thez right now.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes, because, man, like, we'll see what happens with All In, and we'll see what happens with Redemption and then pay-per-views to come. But, like, you look, this belt gets put on Ospreay, what's about to happen in the second half of this year.
Yeah.
Like, Ospreay had been building towards trying to have an all-time babyface top title run since 2000, 21?
Mm-hmm.
And AEW is a place where he came over to do it, because he could have did it in New Japan. And he's over here now. And the dude's the greatest pay-per-view wrestler of all time already, and we about to get him in the main events consistently, or you would assume. So, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, like, that is a match that will attract viewers. It's one of those matches where we talked about it on the show 3 weeks ago, where it's like, if you noticed the match, why the fuck have you told people that this is the match, and y'all need to get y'all shit in order to travel to do all this to the other hemisphere to come watch it.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I probably would have been able to pull it off. I don't think I'd be able to pull it off now.
I had
Wembley, so
look, I had plans all year because I saw where it was headed. Because it was last year's Owen final was him losing Page. It's a well booked company. They're doing it the right way. It's supposed to be predictable in that way, right? Yeah. And you build anticipation by having someone go the long route. And look, Ospreay won his title and All In. He's been with the company for 3 years. Like the last time we've had somebody that me and Rich like talked about were like this person had a person they knew was the one they wanted to add this up there, and they had the patience and then waited 3 years. It was Julian Stardom.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, man, like I'm excited for what this match could be, and I had saved up money. I had saved up and had plans to go, and then like as the way the TV was going, I was like, man, it's gonna be MJF in this. And no disrespect to MJF, but I saw what you did in Wembley when your one shot a couple years ago in 2023. And look, man, great match, hated it. Great match, hated it. Technically a great match. I will never watch it again unless I'm forced to. So yeah, like that, and obviously that's the MJF that we were talking about as far as having concerns, and what he's done this year should lower those concerns. But at the same time, it's like, I know what you got on the table. Like, you were teasing. Look, Tony Khan showcased Will Ospreay in the summer of 22 in AEW in trios action against Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks to sell a Wrestle Kingdom match that I just happened to be in Japan for and saw, and it so far is the front runner for match of the decade in Pro Wrestling Worldwide of the 2020s. He shows up. Time passes. He ends up in AEW. He fulfills his obligations in New Japan. He comes over here and hits the ground running insanely in AEW, and he does the top jobs left and right to all these guys. Has great programs. All these guys help in a time of need for Fletcher when he could have just been put on ice as a tag team guy going solo because of Mark Davis injuries. He helps elevate them and has that program, and they have some killer matches and elevates. Helps elevate Kyle Fletcher into this guy's like a future world champion, future multi-millionaire in the business. Does the stuff with Swerve, does stuff with Hangman Page last year that was awesome, and he has a neck injury and it's like, all right, he's back, and it looks like we headed towards what could have been last year but held off because ultimately it's the right thing to do with the Page storyline, and now we here. Now that Adam Page was that life force for a lot of fans, and he's failed in storyline. The next person up is Will Ospreay, and he's tempted at changing things, and he's at that 11th hour. He has some doubts because he's failed, but he's in the main event. And he's in there against a guy that like he hated 3 years ago, and over the last 2 years, basically has like grown to get rid of the distrust and disrespect all over the callous stuff with a guy that he tagged with. And they went their separate ways because they were doing whatever, but they never had any disagreements. They just went their separate ways, but that love still there. That's the storyline. And they have built this for Will Ospreay. So
and they started it in the fucking doctor's office like right after Dynasty with both of those guys parallel in defeat or whatever, like major setback defeats.
Yes.
Like, and I'm very into the Ospreay Omega part of it. I think they're gonna give us a story we will all like embrace and remember, and ultimately kind of choose sides on, and then like come to appreciate. And whatever like happens, because like I think at this point you can probably talk yourself into anything. At this point, like I think especially conventional wisdom says Will's gonna win, but like I mean, what if they Tetsuya Naito this nigga, bro? Like I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's see. I mean, this would be his WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom 12. Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah,
why not? I mean, it could happen. I would say, don't wait 2 years like they did with Naito, and then Naito, he aged in dog years. He aged like Dwayne
Right.
Wade in the early 2010s.
Oh man, Dwayne Wade needs are Tetsuya Naito's.
Well, I mean, given if we're going relative to profession, it can't be Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade would probably have to still be wrestling, wouldn't he? Or still be playing basketball, wouldn't he?
That's true.
Over in China or some shit. Naito and Noah. Bro, I saw someone show some highlights of his shit in Noah from recently, and I was like, man, they treat him like he is special, like he a sick kid.
Like, do you need some money?
Like it's like, okay, all right,
Yeah, but yeah, that's Kenny wins the belt and all's right in the world. Like, oh man, love it, happy.
I mean, they've set the stage for them to literally given the
redemption,
given the arena, given the amount, given what's been invested from the build up that I described to where they are now, like. They've given Tony Khan's provided and AEW has provided a platform for Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay to top what they did in the Tokyo Dome 3 years ago, which is fucking nuts. I don't know if they can get that violent, but like the emotion will be definitely deeper than then. That was just flat out. I hate you because I'm the guy and you used to be the guy, or I'm still the guy and you think you're the guy. That was real simple.
Yeah.
This is. We've gotten past that. We've become friends. I have felt vulnerable enough to say that you were really, all that stuff was like literally because you inspired me. But it's the masculine spirit, the bravado and all that stuff of saying I'm that nigga, you not no more, or I'm still that nigga, you not ready yet. And now they've even gotten past that shade of, hey man, you did inspire me, and then
you might be that nigga, but I'll always be that nigga. Like,
yeah. And then from Omega side, I was like, hey man, you did it, congratulations, and like I don't know if I can do it again. And then literally he was ready to quit, and then Ospreay tells him, don't give up, don't let go of the rope, and literally him not letting go of the rope is why he's a champion again. Like this is real. Or not real, but you know, like this is more emotional than you expect in your typical pro wrestling. Like these people are formed people that in a real relationship, and now they're gonna have to throw down. Like this is what when we talk about the difference between the MJF Wembley match with him and Adam Cole, and this is why the bro Chacho shit. Why I found it entertaining, but ultimately it was like. It's very.
It's like I didn't believe the connection. I didn't believe the connection between the two guys
because it's played for goofs. It's played for goofs and insecurities around MJF with his fake kayfabe, whatever conditioning he called it or whatever else. Like these are two relatable human beings that have gone up and around this globe to be the best, and they've been in each other's path before. And they have reconciled that, and they have grown a bond over the part where they're the two best, probably. And now they're in each other's way again. And it's gonna hurt to have to put the other one away. Whoever wins, it's costing either whoever wins something in this possibly.
Yeah,
this is more in depth than that Bro Chacho shit was. This is what AEW is built on with the Elite and Adam Page. The swerve in Adam Page and Ospreay stuff last year about saying, hey man, Swerve, we got to put this shit aside. Death Riders out here ruining this company, or they're taking this company in the direction that we don't believe. Like, it ain't necessarily survival of the fittest. Everybody deserves a shot at this, and like they're doing this in the wrong way, and somebody has to stop them. And the person that stopped it, you might not like it, Swerve, but it's that guy. It's his time to stop this, and we don't know if we'll ever have another shot at this.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving where we're headed, and I'm glad we are off the path from where it was like, when are we going to get to what is the actually emotional driving force for whatever's happening in Wembley? they've been building it slowly and slowly and slowly, and that's why I wasn't ready to throw it all out. But like even now, the Moxley part is interesting to me, and it has been about a week or two now. So yeah, like I'm ready.
I'm trying to think about redemption, and I really feel, agendas aside, because I always have that. But
you tell me about agendas earlier in the week, so go ahead.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. What's a match that we don't need no build for, James? What's a match that is a immediate match, a return match, if that? What's a match that we never really heard Kenny Omega have no answers for? What's his greatest rival in his career? What's his greatest rival doing right now? He's just chilling. If you are gonna take the presumed title win from Canada and you want to have something else there, I feel like Okada Omega 6 should be at Redemption. And I don't know if they have a better idea in the office than this.
Sure.
But I'm led to believe that they do not. So it's...
Yeah, man.
It's a slam dunk layup. And
I bet it is. I bet it is for you.
My God.
Would you also like after the Omega wins, and we also like another match on Dynamite before, or 2 weeks for Dynamite, so he can win again? Will you like that too?
Someone actually had an idea for me to add on to it. The next time they do it, it should be in Japan, like the 7th match.
Well, here's the thing, right? You said that, like, they need to do this match or whatever else because Kenny Omega get a big win over Okada in his home country. It's like, oh, that's nice. So we can do the first 4 matches in Japan, and Okada can go out here and be 1, 2, and 1, right? But when it's the only time they can do it in Canada, we got to get that big win for Kenny Omega, huh? Fuck out of here. Man, you nasty, and you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Nah.
It is.
Now, if you want to talk about a real rivalry, if you want to talk about a real AEW rivalry that has a Kenny Omega behind on it, like you could. I mean, you want to do all the involvement stuff with Moxley? You could sell the Moxley redemption match. He has the advantage on him. Isn't he up one?
I heard you float this, or you texted it to me, and
last night, yeah.
I don't know the exact record between. I think they've had 4 matches, but.
And I think Moxie's won 2 of them. He won the cage match and he won the full gear match, right?
Cage match, and he won the full gear match. Kenny won the...
Oh, it's 2 and 2.
Title change.
It's 2 and 2. Okay. The title change at Winter is coming, and then the and then the dud
exploding.
match. The exploding dud match, yeah.
I would rank that behind the Okada match, personally. For me, it would be like, okay, if you beat Jon Moxley right now in his role in whatever the Ospreay thing is, it's like you put him. It seems like he's in the dominant position, right?
I would say it would give Ospreay a reason to kind of have some doubt and mistrust in his relationship with Kenny Omega. That's why I suggest, because it's floating around these 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like if it's in service of the story, that adds intrigue.
I just don't know, because like he's got the Continental belt, and then like if you beat him, I feel like that weakens Moxley. And
for Ospreay in the back half of the year, you mean?
Yeah, whenever that is, and it's like I don't know. Like, so I feel like taking the route, especially on a short build, like someone like Okada and Omega, for all the obvious reasons, like it would work. And maybe as a left field thing, like something else, him versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Could be Ciampa, could be Fletcher. I think they're gonna get to Fletcher at night at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of people along this way, like during the course of this, over the last like around a year with Kenny Omega, like who they've had stuff with. Like, did Omega ever get his win back from Andrade from earlier in the year during the tournament?
No, but there is a huge show in Mexico coming. Okay,
so there is that, and we were thinking it could be MJF, but it could just easily be Omega. Omega gets the win back or whatever else, and they could do MJF later with Andrade.
Could do that. Could do Bandito there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the only other option, like if say, hey, you know what, we're gonna not do a title match, like then you do a super trios match or like super tag team match and do like, remember at Punk's Collision where people talking about, oh yeah, these are all Japan, style
Holy Demon
trios
Army
matches. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, man, send the fucking Young Bucks out there with Kenny, do John Moxley, Will Ospreay, and pick a Death Rider. Like, and then
have to be Claudio.
Yeah, and Claudio, and then
or Sean O'Shaughnessy or whatever Sheamus' indie name was.
Fucking
Ospreay in the bar.
Send them out there and be like, y'all niggas have 40 minutes, and this is y'all chance to have a fucking main event trios match, and it's a road to, it's a preview match, it's a standoff. You can do a bunch of different angles in it.
And it's funny because like literally, like they did that with Omega and Ospreay on opposite sides when they did Omega and the Young Bucks versus Ozzy and Ospreay back in 2022 in that summer.
Bingo.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. Like the whole, like this has been over a 3-year goal or plan for like Tony Khan / AEW to sign and get Will Ospreay to a Wembley main event. They've been working on it for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
Like this is part of us be talking about this over the time. It's like, hey man, the recruitment for and red carpet rollout for Will Ospreay was different from that of Jay White.
Yeah.
They liked Jay White. They loved Will Ospreay. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like this all been playing in between all these parties. Like they have been circling a date that they were going to get these guys in the AEW biggest event of the year, biggest arena that they have that year, and do it. And they're here. And the only problem with it is you wish they would have done it at Dynasty or whatever else, but we here now.